Hi there, Mike MacArthur from the Oshkosh Public Library here to bring you some bonus Librarian Learns content. People loved hearing about Stein so much that here's an interview with longtime Oshkosh resident Betsy Comstock. Betsy's mother worked at Steins during the Great Depression, and she was nice enough to share some of her recollections of her mom and of Steins with the rest of us. Enjoy.
My name is Betsy Comstock. I'm the daughter of Elizabeth Dunham Comstock, who was born and grew up in Oshkosh, and she worked at Steins. When she was in her early 20s, she had to drop out of college at Madison. Her father lost his job at the start of the Depression, and so she came home to Oshkosh, and for the next, I think, 4 years, maybe 3 or 4 years, she worked at Steins. Part of her work was as a salesperson, but the main part was that she modeled Stein's beautiful designer dresses designed in Paris and New York. And she modeled them for the customers. She had a perfect model's figure for the 1920s, which she said sort of with irony, meaning very slender, straight up and down, but she told me she always felt a little awkward and a little bad when customers would remark on something she was modeling, and the customer more than likely would be more generously endowed than my mother. And but would always ask if Steins had the dress in their size, and my mother had to give her the bad news. I think because she was a pretty young woman, she caught the attention of a Wisconsin portrait artist named Merton Grenhagen. He painted Senator Sawyer's portrait, sort of portraits of notables. In any case, he asked my mother if he could do her portrait. She was in her early 20s when he painted this one, and she's wearing a Steins dress. It was an evening, it was for evening wear, and it was very simple sort of shape. It was straight up and down, really. Came to just below the knee, and it had, the straps were crystal beads, which is a nice touch. And the dress itself was tiers of blue silk chiffon that shaded from a very pale blue. Each tier was a little darker, and so that the whole dress was shaded from light blue to dark. And it moved, the tiers sort of moved in a nice way when you moved. Mom worked at Steins during the late, during Prohibition, and Steins made their own perfume, and in order to use it, they had a lab where they made the perfume, and they used very pure perfumer's alcohol. And my mother, after hours, made use of some of that alcohol to make gin for her friends. She knew when she was talking to me, which was in the 50s sometime, she remembered the ingredients: orange flower water and essence of juniper and so on, and then this very good quality alcohol. And she had sort of a quiet pride in her voice when she said, "No one went blind on my gin." I think I was 8 or 9 when Steins burned, so I really have no memory of it. I'm sorry to say, I had a mental picture of a place where every detail was looked after and was beautiful to look at, including the tea room and the salon where the dresses were modeled, and it just represented the glamour of the outside of the world, the New York and Paris and Oshkosh.